we wanted to touch base on. You're working on some music.
Yes, sir.
You're putting some stuff out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And at the end of the podcast, please stick around because we're gonna play some of your music.
Yes,
We're gonna play
sir.
some of
Yes,
this
sir.
shit. That's right.
So you know how excited I was for Digimon Survive? No, I'll tell you guys. I'm not excited anymore. Supposedly it's like a visual novel. It's like 90% visual novel and 10% gameplay, and supposedly the tactical gameplay sucks.
Gay,
So, like,
gay.
as
Like
a-
that echo, gay.
So as excited as I was for it, I was like, nah, it's out the window.
Oh,
I won't
man.
be playing Digimon Survive.
Oh, that sucks, bro.
It's all right. I'm playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth. That's
Oh,
good enough.
shit.
Because
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
they can read my turn.
Bro, I'm anti-Digimon, anti-Pokemon. Never played any of those
Either or.
games.
So
I really did. I played
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I knew
And I played Magic the Gathering. Those were my game, but they felt like those were like the big league tournament games, and that's where me and my brother played.
Pokemon's more popular.
It is. It was by far. It's more
their
popular.
formula is always rinse and repeat. They haven't
Yeah.
changed it. Like if you played Pokemon Red, you've played Pokemon whatever the new one's called Violet. You've played it.
Yeah, it wasn't until this last one where they actually did a major kind of overhaul of the system.
Well, Arceus was the first Pokemon game that was like open world, like but it's almost not a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
It's like Breath of the Wild, but
Yeah, but like if you try to think logically of the way the world should actually work based on the show, it's like RCS does mimic what it should be more
Right.
than what the original games did.
because like if Pokemon was real, that'd be fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine mowing your lawn and you hit a Beedrill nest? Like
But-
a 3-foot tall bee with fucking spikes on its
Literally.
arms. Like,
but
you're
he-
dead.
no one-
That's it.
no one
what
got his
kind of
family's coming.
Pokemon would you have? Wait, hold on.
Wow.
Let's start the podcast.
Probably.
Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson, Ed, and we have our very special guest joining us today, Reggie, aka Kid Splash.
What's up, y'all? What's up, man?
Pretty cool. He's pretty cool. I just met him.
Yes.
You already know what it is.
we had a
Appreciate y'all.
pre-barbecue warm-up, get
Good
to know
vibes.
each other kind
Big
of
vibes.
vibe.
Good
That's right.
vibes.
We treat you right here on the Sofa King podcast.
That's-
We grill for
that's
you,
right.
you know?
At all times.
That's how we do it.
It was good. It was good.
So we were discussing very serious topic, okay? If you had a Pokemon,
If Pokemon were real, like,
what
that's-
would you have as your Pokemon? And I'm gonna start with Charizard. I would like a dragon. If you can have a mythical, cartoonish beast, you gotta go dragon for me.
Technically, he's not. Well, I guess in the newer generations, he is a dragon type, but he's mainly a fire type. Like in the first couple,
He's a fire type, but he's still a dragon in essence,
He's
right?
a valid
you know
dragon.
what's fucked up though about like in the first, like he's got wings, right?
Right.
In the first couple games, you couldn't teach him fly.
You see what I'm saying? I was gonna hit you with that. He gave you attitude. He was literally burning you on sight.
He couldn't fly. You just jump on your Pidgey,
Right,
fly away. Now Pidgey's a little bird,
right. So he's
so I can teach that to fly me around the world.
right,
But not my
Charizard,
dragon
no.
with wings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's kind of like a woman you meet for the first time, burns you a little bit,
just
Yeah.
just a bit, a little
you
first
gotta warm
degree.
up, and then you could ride it around.
Yeah,
I'm probably
hey, that's tough.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
tough,
Thank you.
man.
My analogy. You're
That's
welcome.
tough.
I'm probably gonna own a Jinx for sexual reasons.
Wait,
Hey, he's valid.
is
My
that
dog valid.
the Lickatoad?
No, that's Licky. Licky Toad.
Lickatoad.
I never even thought of that.
We just might switch it up.
Depends.
I mean,
I'm
if
gonna
you're
go
going
with
for
Jinx because
sexual
of the
reasons.
more humanoid body type.
Oh, okay,
I'm not gonna
alright.
go with Lickitung. That's
Yeah,
that borders on
Excessive.
bestiality.
it is a bit
And I'm not
excessive.
sure the laws that exist in Japan in between human
Right.
and Pokemon.
That's
law.
tough.
I'm not aware.
That's even more tough.
But
Yeah,
if
it
we
is.
had to say, knowing how freaky Japan is,
Oh.
historically,
If
we're
Pokemon
good.
were real,
it would be okay to get it on with some Pokemon.
We're good wherever we go.
Yeah, if Pokemon were real,
We're
people
good
in
wherever
Japan
we
would be
go.
fucking.
We go wherever we go. We all got Pokeballs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so what about you? What would you go with?
Damn.
Exactly.
It's a tough choice.
I'm not gonna lie. I just want
Keep
to
in mind,
vibe.
you don't have to fuck your Pokemon.
Yeah.
That was just me. That was me.
That's just
Because I'm not
Like-
trying to like no disrespect to like like Charizard. That's my dog. but I'm not trying to get burned every time. you feel me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
He's
you know,
disrespectful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
he
bro.
is.
Like you want to
He
vibe
is.
with your Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think. Damn. I'm gonna go with Psyduck.
All right,
Ooh,
all
a
right.
Side duck. Okay. That's psychic powers.
You feel what I'm?
Yeah.
And that's before he evolved. You feel
Okay,
me?
all
So
right.
like when Missy was dealing with all that, I'll deal with it too. You know what I'm saying? Like he come
Because
out.
otherwise, he was just hanging out.
He
He's
was
cool.
hanging out.
He had
Okay,
anxiety.
alright.
You can relate. He's just sitting around. He's constantly holding his head. He's just like, side up.
Side
Fucking-
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
And then when he pushed him too far, then he start levitating.
and
shit.
that's where
Okay.
we good then.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
where it is. Yeah.
Side
What about
dope.
you, Ed?
Ed?
If you can bring one Pokemon into this life, what are you doing?
Mew.
Mewtwo.
Oh, wow.
That's
No,
I
Mew.
mean that's
He's a
like
Mew.
all powerful Gen 1 like
Legend.
pick a move.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like you damn near time travel if you really wanted to.
And
So,
all-
but if you're his trainer, are you really his trainer or is he your trainer? Like, see, I wouldn't want to pick an OP character for this. Like, at some point,
Well,
some
no,
alpha battle's
but
gonna
he
happen
picked,
here,
he
right?
picked the gentler one. He
A
picked
genuine
Mew.
one
Yeah,
too.
He's probably
Okay,
safe.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Mew,
safe. He is
Mew
safe.
is about as chill of a Pokemon and laid back as you get.
Yeah.
Mewtwo might be a problem.
Yeah, Mewtwo will kill
Very
you.
big
Yeah.
problem.
Mewtwo
Yeah,
will kill
if,
you.
if
Like,
you're
why
not
do I
on the
need
same
you?
page with
Yeah.
Mewtwo, he'll make you be on the same page.
Right. I came from a
That's what I'm
chamber
saying.
Yeah.
where they were literally doing scientific things to me.
Right.
I'm gonna look this up while we're here, but
Yeah.
there's a quote. I'll look it up then. But there's a quote that Mewtwo says in the first Pokemon movie, and like when you hear it, it's like Mewtwo said this. this profound,
Like some deep shit?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're
Oh.
like, this was dropped on me as a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell are we doing here?
But listen, let's be fair. The cartoons that we grew up watching as kids, there's a lot of shit that you go back and you watch as an adult and you're like, oh, there's definitely a different connotation there, especially things like the older cartoons, like those Bug Bunnies,
Yeah.
those Foghorn Leghorns, those
heavy.
Tom and Jerry.
That is
Like,
Yeah.
Tom and
there was
Jerry's
some
a-
heavy,
Yeah.
sexual,
Yeah.
Very.
like rough, gruff shit.
Really.
Well, Pepe Le Pew is a rapist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, he's
He-
legitimate. Like
Really?
no means no
yeah.
doesn't mean shit.
Low
to Pepe
key,
Le
that's my
Pew.
boy though.
But he comes on heavy.
Yeah,
he's like,
he got to.
But
he's
that's
like
why.
fucking petting her, and like she's like trying to
Bro.
break free. He's like,
Very
"Oh,
blunt. Very blunt. You know
But
what I'm
that's why he
saying?
wasn't in Space Jam, the new rendition.
He's been gone for a
They
while
got
now.
rid of Pepe Le Pew
Yeah.
because they basically they're like, he's a sexual assault cartoon. He doesn't know when to stop. He's
Hey,
a
it's tough out here.
stalker.
It is tough out here,
Yeah, they
especially
changed
for
the game.
someone that got like real stank in him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that people not really hip to.
I mean, let's be honest. The only
Like-
thing they could have done with him is have a scene with him, like in the therapist, like I never wanted to play that character.
Yeah.
Right,
Everyone
right,
thinks,
right, right.
everyone thinks that's who I am.
We need a PR campaign. We need a PR campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
This was all pushed onto me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this was from the Pokemon movie, the first one. It says, "I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are." Mewtwo said that.
Ooh.
Mewtwo said
Okay,
that.
all right.
That wasn't some like chic, some wise man on top of a mountain. A Pokemon made in a lab.
Yeah, but Ash
said
was
that.
like, gotta catch them all. So I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, Ash, yeah.
Yo,
that's poetry.
That's
in
this.
itself.
Hey, I'm not. hey, let me hold you on that real quick.
My question: what happens to the Pokemon when they go in the ball?
They,
Like, are they trapped in like a realm of like?
Well, in Arceus, they made it canon that all Pokemon have a latent ability to miniaturize themselves. So technically, they miniaturize themselves when they get captured in the bowl.
Okay, so but is there like a resort in there for them?
It's supposed to be the most idyllic environment for them possible.
Okay, well, that's a good way to go around that. Cause,
Yeah.
like,
yeah, because I'm
rather than,
literally
like,
thinking of
just swirling
void.
and enslaving fucking.
I'm
like,
literally just thinking darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Boy,
know,
darkness,
yeah.
yeah.
Kirby, like,
You're just sitting there, just
when,
Now,
when
if you
Kirby
know-
when Kirby breathes somebody in, he traps them in like a realm of stillness where time doesn't exist. Like that's like
That's rough.
yeah. When
That
the
is
death
rough.
battle did that,
Yeah.
when they told
That
you
is-
what happens to people that get
that is
breathed
rough.
in by Kirby, it's horrifying. Like
Now,
fuck that little cream.
Game the Game Theorist channel, they theorize that actually the inside the bowl is a pure nightmare, which is why they're always ready to fight as soon as you throw them in front of another Pokemon.
yeah.
So he did actually break down like the
it
actual
gives you that grudge feeling.
biological
Yeah, you know?
reasons why it's actually a nightmare in the Pokeball.
You're just locked up there.
Right. So you
That's
want
why-
to get
yeah.
out and you want to fight.
And the only thing you hear is whatever your Pokemon name is, and you're out. You know?
Right.
Like whatever Pokemon name is.
So
like,
which
it
is why
like-
Pikachu's so happy because he's always on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because
for sure.
he
He's
refuses
never
to
in the
stay
ball.
inside the ball.
He's a starter.
And that's why, like,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
Mankey comes out of that ball like, just fucking like all fucking psychotic. He's like from the hell. He's like, oh, this is paradise from the hell I was just in.
But I mean, the whole Pokemon universe is a nightmare. There's a war they don't talk about except very briefly, and then if you actually look around the world, all you have is old people and children. All of the people in the middle are missing, minus
Or
the
dead.
people that have back from the war, which they won't
Interesting.
describe any further than Pokemon were involved.
Don't they touch on it a little bit in like Black and White? Like if you go into the mythos, they start to discuss it, and he's right. There was like this great war that like wiped out a lot of Pokemon, a lot of people. Like it gets pretty morbid.
Okay.
I mean, a bunch of Pokemon. You read their lore, they snatch people's souls.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the ghost ones, they look around looking for people, and then they turn those people into Pokemon.
Right.
Damn, I didn't know Pokemon got so dark.
Yeah, Pokemon is. Yeah,
You think that's dark? You should dive into like the shit that they talk about with Digimon. Like there's Digimon based off like the 7 demon lords.
Oh,
and
really?
like the Royal Knights. The one Pokemon, Jessmon, is based off Jesus Christ on the cross. Like I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Japan loves
So-
bringing in religion into their anime.
It's their favorite.
But
They really do though.
Yeah,
But
they
is
do.
it darker than like some of the anime that we have grown as adults to love, like that Castlevania darkness?
If you
I would-
go
nah,
through the
yeah.
lore of like all of the Pokemon, like a third of them has some seriously fucked up backstories.
Yeah.
Like the one wears the
Marowak
skull of its dead
child.
parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cubone. Cubone wears.
This is a
Cubone-
kid's cartoon?
Yeah.
No way.
Cubone wears the skull of his mother
Yes.
on his head. That's
That's
And
heavy.
he fights with her femur.
Yeah, that's deep.
No,
Yeah,
that's
the one Pokemon is the souls of dead children, and it wears a mask to cover its face.
Yeah.
It's the lore on some of them is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, if you read like the description of things like Gengar and Ghastly, it's pretty bad.
All right, so
It's pretty bad.
outside of Digi and Pokey, what would be the darkest anime you guys have gotten into that you really liked? that you explored?
Probably Hellsing Ultimate. Like Helsing is like, yeah, it's
Okay.
like vampire.
I see where you going,
There's
though.
vampires.
Yeah.
No,
There's
yeah.
like vampires, Nazis, like the Catholic
Yeah, yeah,
Church.
you
Like
going-
it's
yeah,
so
you-
much going on.
yeah, you went in.
And the violence.
I was gonna go light with the Death
No.
Note. but yeah,
You would say Death
it's
Note?
gonna have to be Death Note for me. Like that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like just you're in school, you get a book that lands, and you got this guy telling you like, bro, like
Not only
Just write a name.
just write a name.
not only can you choose like who dies, you choose how they die.
Oh, that's probably the most disturbing part of that, right? Is choosing how they die. Like because if you're
You
a
don't
decent
have to.
person,
You don't have to. You can
right.
just write their name.
I think if it's just
And-
the name, isn't it just like a heart
A
attack,
heart
or
attack.
some
Something
shit
simple like that, yeah.
Right,
Correct.
but in the wrong hands, you got some sadistic shit. You got some like what's that show where they're pulling the body Stranger Things and they're contorting their
Yeah.
body
So
you
parts
could
and
write,
their
like-
hair,
you could
like,
write,
That's
like-
Stranger Things, bro.
oh,
I
shit,
need to
that
get
shit
into that,
was good.
but
you could do like
Gotta
no,
watch it.
yeah, bro.
Gotta
Andy-
watch it.
Andy Estevez raped by a silverback, and like,
Oh, why you gotta be silverback?
a silverback has to be.
You know,
Wait a minute, why
small
Andy?
monkey,
Why not Andy?
a small baboon can handle just the same amount of
Right,
damage.
but I want the maximum effect. I want a 500-pound lowland silverback.
Andy, we
gorilla.
love you, man. I mean, he doesn't,
Hey.
but the rest of us got no
Hey.
problem with you. No silverback.
Jesus.
That's fucked up. I would say a rhino. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow, oh, wow, yeah.
That's tough.
It's a dust.
That's not good.
But
That's
Death
not
Note,
good at
Death
all.
Note, that's a good show. Did you like the Netflix adaptation, or did you skip it? They did like a different version of it, like a live action.
Yeah, I don't like any of the live
Oh,
action.
I have not been happy with any anime live action adaptations.
The Roni Kenshin
so
ones
far.
had their moments, but most of the live actions is complete shit. And I hate to I don't know if you've heard about it coming yet. I heard there's a Yu Yu Hakusho live action on the way,
it's coming.
Oh.
and I'm disappointed. I'm like, why? Why?
Netflix-
Bring it, why bring
Why
it
would you
back?
just remaster
I
the
know.
original one?
Hey,
They,
man,
they
like,
seem like they have a whole lineup of them signed up to go because they keep coming out one after the other, whether they get good reviews or not.
Bro,
Cowboy
it's that-
Bebop
it's the-
taught us nothing.
going back on that, then I mean, if you stem off that, then that's just people just telling you like, yeah, this is my thing. That community behind Yu Yu Hakusho is just, but Cowboy Bebop going back on that,
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason people hated it. It's it just wasn't like between the fight scenes and like they tried to like steal from too much stuff. Like the opening thing was literally the beginning of the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Right.
It like the first episode of that live action show was the opening scene to the movie.
I feel you.
And then they tried to throw in. I was like, all right, this is just.
And
the action was off.
You could tell.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
where they
it
missed the
was-
mark too is that when you make a live action adaptation, you don't have to take everything that you enjoy about watching a cartoon and bring it into the live animation. Like some of the corny music in the background and things like that is really what throws you off to enjoying it as a live action show. Like it could still like it should be an evolution of what the cartoon was, but a live action movie. And that's where I think Disney fails when they're doing their live action adaptations of things, is that sometimes they lean in really hard on the original content, and sometimes they go a complete different direction.
They haven't found a good balance.
Right. And so what that says,
you can really tell.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Tell a different story. You could say, hey, this is a live action Aladdin story.
Yeah.
So you could take those characters, bring them into the live action role, and not mess with the original content, which people grow up loving.
Yeah. How about we don't try to use the Lion King to sell Beyonce's album? How about that? Like, how about we,
But does she even need the Lion King to sell her album? That was the whole thing.
You already know you don't need that.
Yeah.
Well, she got it.
She did.
But she got it. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, she valid.
But that's star power, right? Because she's such a big star. They're like, oh, we'd love you to be in it. She's like, perfect.
Of course.
But I want to throw my own shit in there
every
as well.
time.
When Simba's running home, we're gonna cut out Rafiki, the greatest character in the whole damn movie, and we're gonna put your song in.
That's it. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I did love Rafiki when he busted out with them Bruce Lee moves. In the original cartoon,
He was the greatest. He was
like, get the fuck out of here.
He had wise words and had like, come on,
the
man.
He was the old like
smacking
sage
Simba over the head
warrior.
with the stick.
He had
He's
spots
like,
that he
hurt. Of course,
brought
it hurts.
Simba
It's
to a
in the
spot that
past.
you can look to yourself and look in yourself, bro.
Yes.
Like, you don't bring you don't just bring anybody there. You brought him there.
He's like, you knew my father? Correction, I know your father.
Hey,
That's
man.
timeless wisdom.
Hey, that's
Like,
valid.
Rafiki was the best character in that movie, and they gave him no lines.
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
thing
come
is,
on,
some
man.
of that will never properly translate to screen. Like, certain things don't work in live action versus in cartoon, and vice versa.
Right.
And that's just the art of storytelling.
Of course.
Like certain things, they just won't ever translate properly.
Yeah, which is why they should probably leave things like Yu Yu Hakusho alone.
Yeah.
That's
You
just
know what?
not
I
good.
would love to see a live adaptation, not by Netflix. And we talked about it earlier. Now, just thinking about it is the Boondocks. Let's bring the Boondocks into a live action.
If we do that, and this is for y'all, please bring the Uncle Ruckus movie in.
Oh,
Please, just start it off with that, or maybe just start that first episode with just him, you feel me? And then a little later.
God bless Uncle Ruckus.
Darkness.
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 Darkness is spreading.
Darkness is spreading, everybody.
That show just takes you so many places.
Bro.
It can be so thoughtful, so ignorant, so hilarious. Like it's just like it's a 30-minute cartoon, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to say that shit. And that was great.
And
Really?
it started as a weekly comic strip in newspapers.
Really?
Yeah. So and actually that's why there was so much time in between filming seasons, and the seasons were so short, because the writer for the comic strip is like, no, this is good. We're not gonna put out X number and force half of that, and then it's not good.
I feel that.
We're only putting out quality. That's
Correct.
it.
Every time.
If I don't have enough for an episode, then we're only getting this many this year, or we're not even gonna get it this year. It'll be next year.
Right.
And he was real strict about we're not doing that to my property.
Yeah, and
There you
that's artistry, right? And it actually worked out probably well on his behalf, because the cartoons that they did put out were great. Like,
Yeah,
it's a timeless cartoon.
Bro,
to
there
me.
was a time where
Ridiculous.
you could just where you wanted to like find it, it was only on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now that it's on Netflix and other platforms, you're getting it, bro.
Oh yeah, I think I discovered it was off of the Cartoon Network.
It was on
See.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
It was on Cartoon Network.
And I remember used to think, how is this on TV? How is this on TV?
Priceless.
But some of those fight scenes were fucking dope as shit.
The one with
Like,
the movie theater?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Those fight scenes were like anime style fight scenes that were just like it was
perfect every
It
time.
was very, very Afro Samurai.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Very
see,
Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai to me is probably one of my top 10 animes of all time.
Samuel L. Jackson is the ninja.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
my
Like
god.
smoking
It's
weed,
just
like,
the story, like the #1 headband, bro.
trying to get the
It's
#1
just
headband.
fucking
Tired of these
great.
goddamn steaks on this goddamn plate.
You know, that's and you know,
I was rewatching Pulp Fiction the other night.
Oh,
And I was
man.
appreciating like his Jerry curl,
Oh, it's
like,
beautiful, bro.
John Travolta.
How
like,
it's just glistening in the
Yeah.
It makes that whole apartment look trash, right?
and
Just how he switches so quick, like when he's like eating the guy's food and drinks all his Sprite. Like, he drinks all, you can hear the water at the bottom like going between the ice. He just drinks all of it. And he says like how many you're here, and he's like the guy starts talking in the corner, and like he just changes so quick. He's like, I don't remember asking you a goddamn.
Say it again. Say it again.
Like, he just switches so much.
Yo, it's
they
powerful.
speak English in what?
But also, like,
Say what again, motherfucker? I dare you. I double dog dare you.
how many people could really deliver
No
that
one.
kind of
No
fun?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson has that.
If it's like this, who else can play Master Windu?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Who, by
That's
the way, we never saw hit the ground, so he may still be alive. So
There are talks of bringing
dog.
him back for his own show.
Why not?
There
Why-
are talks.
why
I
not?
would love
Please.
to see
Palpatine
it.
only
Please.
flew him like
Goddamn right.
into the air.
And Samuel Jackson on Twitter has expressed, he's like, bring me back in. I'm
Oh,
ready.
shit.
I'm ready.
If-
And the only
if
Jedi to have a purple lightsaber.
If Hayden Christensen can survive being roasted alive and having his limbs chopped off,
Yeah. I think we're good.
Mace
Listen,
Windu
I
gets the
agree.
fall.
Darth Maul became half cyborg spider at one point. We could bring back Mace Windu.
Yes, we can.
Easily.
It's Star Wars.
Easily.
It happened a long time ago in
Easily.
a galaxy far, far
I
away.
would-
Far away.
I would
technology is
absolutely,
different.
I would absolutely
It's
love
different.
it. I'd watch the show. I'm in. For Samuel Jackson, bring him back.
Might as well, bro.
Oh, good news. Speaking of Star Wars, Mandalorian season 4 is coming back a lot sooner than they originally anticipated.
Where are we at now? Three?
should
Yeah,
be
we're
on
at
3.
three
Okay.
seasons of the Mandalorian, so season 4 is coming back. It's their biggest attraction.
I loved
on
how they
Disney
brought
Plus.
Ahsoka in. That was
Oh
perfect.
my god,
Yeah.
yeah, man, they did
I
such
love
a
how
good
they
job.
transitioned from the cartoon even into the Mandalorian. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
They
I
tied together for everything for all the fans
Amazing.
of the Clone Wars.
Amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
All the
Oh,
fans
yeah.
of the
Well,
Clone
they
Wars got
had
amazing.
Dave working on the live actions as well. So Dave Filoni was the guy that was doing all the cartoons and doing all that world. And he's essentially the successor to George Lucas. He's like the
Yeah.
one guy that George was allowing to like, you got it.
I never
Go
didn't know
ahead.
that.
I
That's
never
sick.
thought of
Yeah.
that. Like the Clone Wars was completely CGI animated.
correct.
And to think of how good Ahsoka Tano and who's the from Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, the Wasp dude,
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Man.
How well they just seamlessly adapted them to live
Literally.
action.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just as good as the animated shows.
Yeah.
That's another show that I would watch. Like I know they always focus on the heroes, but I'm down for like I was hoping Boba Fett was gonna be like here's the villain bounty hunter,
And then all the
I
ones he
would've
met type
loved-
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
bro.
When they were like, oh, he's gonna be like the gang leader in the town, I
Well,
was like, let's
They
focus
did
on
give
that.
you that vibe, though.
They could have
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
the title to Boba Fett, old fucking a Bacta tank. And they could
No.
have. They could have
Hey,
summed
that-
they could
hey,
have summed
hold
half
on.
the show up. They could have summed half the
Old
show up
fucking
better.
The first
Yeah.
episode was tough.
Yeah,
It was tough.
because it was
It
an
was.
old fucking a Bacta tank. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
And
well,
I
here we
wasn't
go.
on board until mid-season when they brought in the Mandalorian.
You
to
mean when
start that-
when it became the Mandalorian 3.5?
Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
exactly?
It's heavy, bro.
Exactly.
Nelson,
but
Nelson
he
liked the
saved the
wrestling
show.
match between shirtless Boba Fett and the big black
The
bikini.
fuck?
Like,
Oh my god, bro.
He called me. He was so excited.
Yeah. Hey.
He called me. He's like, they're wrestling. I was like, I see it. I see it, Nelson.
No,
Hey,
but
man.
even the actor, I forget his name, he went online and he was saying he really wants to bring back the original Boba Fett.
Yep.
He's like, let's just leave the characters the way that they are. You don't have to keep reinventing. Like, you've already got a good bounty hunter. You got Mando.
Yep.
course.
Right? And you can
Yeah.
keep the anti-hero Boba Fett. Like, he's just worried about his own shit.
That's all it
They
is.
should have made him a hard ass like thug gang
Yeah.
lord. Like
Yeah.
he has to run a planet that was
They
run
did
by
go
the
nice
Hutts.
with it. Yeah, they go.
Yeah.
They
went nice
did.
with it.
Because
Make
they were
him
trying to
fucking
make him a
ruthless.
hero.
Yeah.
Make him
Yeah.
ruthless.
Yeah. I'm in to see that. I don't need to see a real good Boba Fett because I wasn't expecting that in the beginning.
I
in the
was not
first
either.
place.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, he trained with sand people. Sand people, the Tusken Raiders are not good people either.
We need to touch on that,
Yeah,
man.
they're
Bro.
Raiders.
They are.
Raiders. Tusken Raiders.
Bro,
They
it's in the
ain't
name.
shit.
It is, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They're basically like
They're
what-
raiding all the people that are stealing their fucking planet.
Oh, so wait a second.
Yo, hey,
So they're
man.
just fighting for their rights,
Yo,
Eddie?
that's-
Oh,
right?
get the
And they're
fuck
literally-
out.
and
If a group of children, if a group of
bro.
orphans,
Who would want their freedom when their planet was robbed and destroyed and turned
And
to a
no one's relocating
desert?
them, by the way.
No.
They're moving on themselves.
well, look at what they done with their plan. Oh, look, we have some sand here. Oh, what's that? Oh, we have some more sand.
Yeah, right.
Fair,
They've done nothing with the minerals below.
Happen to have a train that's coming by them, dropping out supplies, fucking shit up.
Listen, they fight with sticks.
But it's not just any sticks out. Don't disrespect them now. Hey, Bubba worked hard for that stick, boy.
They are very fancy sticks.
They
Yeah,
are
don't-
sticks.
all right.
They have sharp things on them.
All right, so then, if you had to choose a tribe to live with, right? Would it be the sand
sure,
tribe?
It's gotta be the sand people. What the fuck?
Or the Would you go Jawas? Would you go Jawas
Bro,
or sand
you
tribe?
see the pet that I have that's guarding my whole
going
campsite, bro?
I'm not going Jawa.
Would you go Jawa or sand tribe? Which one would
The
you go?
fuck? You see the type of games we play, bro? It's fucking fire, bro. Like,
They stick that lizard in your fucking nose. Get the fuck out of here.
that's the thing that I've been waiting for every time, bro. Stop playing, bro. Like, come
You better
on,
take
man.
that lizard out of here. I'll smoke some ayahuasca. Thank you very much.
I'm not down with the lizard nose. That ain't
Yeah, I got weed over here, bro. You keep that lizard. I'm good.
Sand people for life, you know what I'm saying? Sand people for life.
Damn.
Oh man, no.
That's rough.
I don't fuck with the sand goons.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
like
They're
them.
tough.
He said it. We didn't even prompt that.
They're thugs. They're goons, bro. They're raiders.
Bro, they're trapping from a campsite, bro.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
just all it
See,
is.
It's
I would chill with the
2022.
Jawas.
That's
I would
all
chill with the
2022.
Jawas. At least they're traders, right? They have air conditioning. They ride around in a big vehicle.
Bunch of thieves.
They're thieves.
I know.
They steal from everybody.
know.
And they
Right?
sell
But
it
listen,
back to you.
But think about this. Think
They're
about
not
this,
even
right?
smart about it. People are like, motherfucker, that was mine.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right.
So you want 30 for it?
Right. But are they paying? But are they making that money? They're making that money. I'm with the Jawas, all
How
right?
bad do you want it, though, fam?
Yo,
You keep telling me this whole mind shit,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like,
Obi-Wan said, at least could you clean it before you sell it back to me?
here, Obi-Wan already notifies, bro.
He knows what they
playing.
did with it.
Stop
He knows what this
playing.
fucking dirty Jawa
Stop
did with it.
playing. He wears the same thing every day. You don't think they got that shit?
Of course.
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
would be
man.
the king of the Jawas. I'm like at
Yeah,
least
the
2
Jawas is
times
where it's
taller
at.
than them, right?
Oh
You
my
have to
God.
eat that fucking egg or whatever they eat. Like they crack it open. And
That
The one
egg
lady
is-
in the Mandalorian already said she
Slept with a
slept with the
Jawa.
Jawa.
They're
She
very
did.
fuzzy, apparently.
yeah, yeah. But what fucked me up is she's like very fuzzy, and then she went. I was like, oh shit.
I mean,
Oh, she's tasting Jawa.
yeah, she just, that's his ass.
She's eating Jawa
That's,
booty.
that's straight
that's
Jawa
gangster.
booty. Valid booty.
That's,
Yeah,
that's,
that's
dirty,
just a
sandy.
step below Wookiee booty.
I couldn't even grasp the whole word fuzzy when she said it.
Oh no, it's just.
And the only person that knows more about Wookiee booty than her is Margot. Wherever Margot
Yeah,
is.
she's-
Also, shout out to Margot for
Shout out to
the
Margot.
shirt recommendation.
That's
you know,
right.
It's
You
good
know
stuff.
what it
Thank
is.
you, Margot.
Yes.
Valid.
Margot of Jits Chicks.
You
Thank
know
you so
what it
much
is.
for the shirt recommendation.
Valid.
And she sent me the link to it. You know, it's right. at the
Valid
top.
by Splash. You already know what it is. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Holy shit.
Weren't we supposed to talk about? What were we supposed to talk about?
We were
Anime?
supposed to talk about anime, but you know what?
Now we're talking
we
about
already know
Jawa
that shit
anime.
goes-
Yeah, we want that
that shit goes
Jawa.
out the window,
Hey,
right?
man. Hey, that Jawa juice be something. You feel me?
Fucking shit.
Yo,
man.
that's it. We're gonna start selling Jawa juice here at the Sofa
here
Kingdom
first.
podcast. The inventor of Jawa juice.
Another
gets
thing
flat.
valid by Splash. You already know what it is. Man. Stop playing with us.
That's right.
Stop playing with
That's
us.
right.
Oh,
And
man.
this has got to be the only podcast that's talking about eating Jawa ass. There
Get in here first.
can't
Yeah,
be too
listen.
many out there.
It's going out fast.
It's coming out fast.
Yeah, we address
Out of this world.
we address the real issues.
Yeah.
The real issues out there.
All right, so let's discuss anime, right? How would you like to go about it? Let's talk about our favorite hero characters from any anime that you like.
I could do that.
All right.
That's pretty easy.
All right, Ed, we'll start with you and come back this way.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I think I got to go with Naruto.
All right.
That was the first time I started with watching the anime, and I got to the end. It was the first time I'm like, I got to know what's happening next, and just picked up the manga to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the first one where I was like, all right, I'm not waiting for the next episode.
I always
It's
thought-
taking too goddamn long for them to keep up.
I always thought orange was a weird color for a ninja.
It
to
was
wear,
a
you know?
terrible outfit.
I was like, come
He
on.
always wears a terrible
He's like an
outfit.
astronaut.
That man has no sense of style, and everyone around him isn't letting him know shit about it.
Well, I'm saying he's dressed like an astronaut. Like his ninjas are supposed to be stealthy.
Bro.
And this is like a ninja wearing bright orange throwing gang signs.
Bro.
I'm like, oh shit.
All right.
Oh shit.
But why do they have to cry so much?
It's
That was
anime,
the
man.
only thing that threw me off from Naruto. is that I love the show, but at a certain point, by like season 76, I'm like, stop fucking crying.
Have you seen My Hero?
Hey, man.
Have you seen My Hero
just-
Academia?
My Hero definitely takes the crying to another level.
Dude.
But once they got
had a
past
drinking game.
the opening of Naruto, and
Yeah.
they got into
Yeah.
Shupen, and they kind of aged the characters a little bit. It got better with some of that. But also the American translation, like into English,
Right.
is fucking awful.
Right.
And for most anime, it's pretty awful.
Always,
You
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
you really want to be just watching the dub underneath, with
Sure.
with the words, because as soon as you get to like the full English dub,
Right.
you want subtitles. Sorry,
Okay.
because the full English dub they have to change it based on the lip flapping of the cartoon. So they actually take some context out of what's happening on the show. Like his little
okay.
catchphrase he has in the American version, non-existent
Really?
in the Japanese. Yeah, the believe it bullshit, that's not in there.
Come on, man.
Not
That's-
once. Not
Believe
once.
it.
Not once. That shit's completely made up for the American audience.
You know, now that you said that, they did the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh was a much more adult version in Japan than it was a kid's show in America. Yeah.
Yeah, because you get into it. I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, it was like he was getting possessed by Egyptian gods, and they were
Yeah.
like stealing souls and stealing.
I'm not gonna lie,
dark-
bro.
yeah.
There was a one random episode. I don't know if you guys remember when they started taking it to the city,
Yeah.
and they put it, and then what was it, Seto Kaiba, right? He put
Yes.
on the blimp.
Yes.
And then the city's looking at the blimp like this shit is going on, and the people are looking like this shit like,
Like, what's going
I got work tomorrow. and this shit is supposed to be tomorrow. Like, where was I for all this?
no.
They got duels going on in the alley and shit, and people are walking by. Like,
I love Seto
Oh,
Kaiba,
yo,
man.
like-
He was such
It was
a
such a
dickhead.
good
Yeah.
cartoon that it actually brought me into playing the card game.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did though.
And the card game itself was very intelligently built.
Very.
It was.
Like,
I
man,
would-
I really loved
I
the
loved
card
it.
game.
I'd say until they got into the swing summon.
yeah.
I forget what that bullshit
yeah,
is
yeah.
called.
Oh, the pendulum.
Yeah,
pendulum.
and then,
Yeah,
pendulum.
it became like everybody needed a special summon. And
Yeah,
it
the
was-
tuner.
And then this
Yeah.
one,
Or
and
gets
then this
deep,
one,
yeah.
and then this one, and it became so convoluted.
Oh my
And it's
God.
grown since then.
And you definitely had to buy your way to the next tournament.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have the next new special summon guys, you were guaranteed to fucking lose.
But a lot of those
If you still had a
games-
Karibo, you were just Chad.
Yeah. But a lot of those games were pay to play. It
Yeah.
was designed that way.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
As far as like, the money making side of things, it was smart on their end.
Right.
But what they were doing is like the big games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic the Gathering. When new games were up and coming, they would buy them out and shelf them. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
the only games people are playing and spending their big money on
Was
were
theirs.
Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. Once they established themselves, they maintained a foothold.
And Magic stepped on
Many,
the community
many games
for probably a decade before finally somebody got big enough. Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, was
Yeah.
the first one.
to fight back.
And they did that by only selling starter decks. Like,
Yeah.
no, this is the only game.
Yeah.
And then once they made enough, they started releasing packs because then they could pay for the copyright to
Yes.
be
Yeah.
allowed
Oh, shit.
Right.
to sell packs.
Because what they did was they copyrighted the law in order, like, you cannot randomize cards
Right.
to build decks. So that's how they stepped on the small guys coming
yeah,
up.
so it's
where, like,
essentially
you
you're
could-
not allowed to have random packs sold to make a large pool of cards
Mm-hmm.
for you to make your own deck. That's essentially what Magic the Gathering has patented.
Yeah.
savage.
So when
And-
you're coming up, you have to have a shit ton of money in order to pay into this kind of patent in order to get your card game established. So that's why people have been coming out with different varieties of
Living
card
card game
games, living card
style.
games, deck building games.
Correct.
So that you're not buying packs or like what Richard Garfield, the original creator of Magic the Gathering, he came up with another game called Keyforge, where every deck was pre-constructed and randomized.
Here's the thing, though. It was supposed to. When you actually looked into it further, what he did, it's conceptually, that's what it was supposed to be. But for certain cards to work, it had to be forced where the way the decks were built, certain cards had a higher propensity to show up with other cards. So it's semi-randomized.
So the probability of a good card coming out for your hand to really like dominate.
Yeah, so the probability of like card A always showing up with B and C in a particular deck is higher than like A and C only because A and C
Right.
don't work without B. So like he it's
I
as
figured out a clever
randomized.
way around it.
Yes, because he still wanted to try to get the depth you can get out of Magic, but if it was completely random, he couldn't guarantee that a deck you get isn't complete dog shit.
Right. All right. So getting back into anime, Reggie, you're up. A hero from any anime, your favorite. Who would you go with?
Straight off the top, Goku, man.
Yeah.
Goku. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
the
which
Godfather.
version? Which
The
version of
Godfather.
Goku? Because there are many different adaptations.
Yeah.
Because that's always the argument when like Goku versus X. It's like, well, which Goku? Is it Super Saiyan? Is it Goku from GT? Is it Goku from
Right.
Super? Are we going with Ultra Instinct?
Yeah.
God mode? Is he fused
Yeah.
with Vegeta? Does
Yeah.
that count?
I like how y'all did that. No, I respect that. Because now we can really tap on that.
Yes.
Because
Your
The
favorite
whole-
version of him.
it got to be Kaioken. Why though?
All right.
You saw how they brought that whole, like, I want to say the garbage, because I'm still trying to get into that too.
Right.
With the garbage of his hair, like, being red. I
Yeah.
feel like that stemmed from the whole Kaioken, bro. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you saw that, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
The man was treacherous, bros.
Back when he fought Vegeta.
Oh my God, looking like CT Fletcher, bro, or Great Kyle. Bro, you can't tell me that's not hard, bro.
Yeah,
He's
no,
sitting
it's
on a
fucking great.
tall ass rock that
rock
got built
explodes.
from all the fucking explosions and
Yeah.
shit, and he's still buffing up, bro.
That's
like,
dope. Okay.
come on, man.
And he could change it by depending how many times you wanted to multiply it.
Correct.
Yeah, that was actually
He had numbers to that bitch.
yeah.
All right.
Goku was
okay.
probably responsible for so many people getting into martial arts and doing and starting to lift. Like Goku inspired a lot of people.
Like,
We all wanted to be that dude with
Speaking of Goku, there was a fan film that came out recently. Legend, a Dragon Ball tale.
Right.
It's like 12 minutes, and it's a fan-made movie about Dragon Ball Z. Phenomenal.
the really.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's free to watch.
less.
It's absolutely worth the 12 minutes to watch it.
Okay. All right. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
All right,
that's
so
a must.
What about you, Ian? Who you going with?
Oh man, just to
Ready
pay
for
homage to Kentaro Miura for passing, I'm gonna go with Guts from Berserk.
Okay.
And the reason I'm gonna go with Guts is because it's in my opinion it's the greatest manga ever.
Yeah. Are you
But-
all up in them?
I no.
All up in them guts?
I'm not,
Is that what it
I'm not as deep
is that what's going on?
I'm not as deep into the guts as I could be.
All up in them Jawa guts.
Juice though.
Jawa guts.
So you're not all up in them?
It's
Little
real,
foreshadow.
it's real hot on that
foreshadow.
desert. Real hot on that desert.
It is. It is hot. Them Jawas stink.
All right, let's let this man discuss. You were saying
no.
you're all up in them.
I'm up in this guts. But just the shit that happens in Berserk is like some of the darkest stuff that happens in any anime.
Okay.
Like I know I said earlier, like the darkest was like I thought Hellsing Ultimate,
Yeah.
but the shit. There's one scene particularly that if you watch the anime or read the manga, you know what I'm talking about. It's the one scene, the ritual where Griffith becomes a demon lord, and the stuff that happens to the Band of the Hawk, particularly Casca, like Guts' love interest.
Yeah.
It's the darkest shit that like it'll change you.
Oh, shit.
And to see what this man goes through from like he loses his eye, like a demon bites his arm, and he's trying to get to Casca to help her, and like he's got a dull sword that breaks because he's trying to stab the demon's teeth.
Shit.
And so he takes the dull sword and stabs his own arm off
Yeah.
to try to get to her. Like, it's just such a dark story. And when you see Guts gets known as the Black Swordsman, he's got one eye. His sword is comically huge.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way a human being can swing it.
Like Final Fantasy style?
Bigger.
I was
Or
just about to bring up Cloud.
Yeah.
It
Bigger?
Yeah, it makes the Buster Sword look like a dagger.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's
All
called,
right.
it's called the Dragon Slayer, and he like fucking swings it with one hand. Like he swings it like a
Nice.
guy would fence with it. Like it's ridiculous.
That's fucking dope.
And to see the stuff he goes through and the levels of power, he like it's just a dark fantasy for anyone that likes fantasy, sword, sorcery. It's as dark as it comes, and I would definitely recommend the manga or even some of the newer anime. It's pretty good.
That's one I missed that I'm definitely going to jump
Oh
into.
man, it's
All right,
Guts the Black Swordsman is who I'm going with.
I got one, but I want to discuss my runner-up real quick because it was hard for me. And my runner-up is Rock Lee. Okay? Now, Rock Lee, I know he's not everybody's favorite in Naruto or not, but he had the essence of Bruce Lee. He had the bowl cut. He wore the green jumpsuit, right?
Yep.
Where if you made that yellow, it's you know who it is, right? Not fucking around. But the best fight scene that I seen with Rock Lee that made me love his character was he's fighting that dude with the big jar in the back.
Gara.
Gara.
Gara, right? They're fighting and Gara's starting
That
to fuck
scene
him
was
up, and he's just like, I'm gonna take off my leg weights.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody starts
Guy's like,
laughing.
go ahead, take them off. He's like, can I? He's like,
So
yeah.
yeah. So he takes off these leg weights and he drops them, and everybody's like, leg weights, and they like make a hole in the ground. They're so fucking heavy. Like, doom, and then all of a sudden this motherfucker's faster than the Flash.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah. No one ever
fucking
knew.
shit up.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Big ups to Derrick Rose, bro. Broccoli is like my Derrick Rose, bro.
You know what I mean?
When that injury happened and then he was in the hospital, bro,
Oh,
I was
man.
like, damn, bro.
Yeah. And Rock Lee didn't have the same powers that
He
everybody
didn't have
else
any
had.
Correct.
ninjutsu,
Yeah.
any
No,
taijutsu.
And that's the
Yeah.
only
He was just a
reason he
badass.
pushed it that far.
Yes.
So I give it to him. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause-
Who's his teacher? Rock Lee's teacher is.
Guy. And
Guy. Yeah.
Guy is a bad motherfucker.
I know.
He has a fight with Madara where he actually goes all out and he starts fucking him up.
Yeah.
So like Madara's
and he
like
can't use
the
ninjutsu
big
either,
bad
right?
of the whole series
Right.
at one point.
Guy can't use ninjutsu
Because
either.
No,
right?
he had some
he's-
shit that happened to him
He's
too.
taijutsu strictly also. He had the same issue that
Rock Lee
Rock
had.
Lee
See what I'm
had.
saying?
So
which
he's
is
just a
why-
badass.
Which is
He's
why he
just-
takes him as a
He's just
student.
These guys are just fucking people. up.
Yeah.
just walking around.
He's-
So
yeah.
they're the ultimate. He was the ultimate underdog, and then like he always managed to surprise you, and he never backed down. Like even if
Never.
he got fucked up, you
Yeah.
knew he was like, all right, you're gonna remember this punch in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Your jaw
yeah.
is gonna hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Something.
With a
That's
smile on
like-
his face.
Yeah, you remember
Like-
that kid in school, like who would get fucked up, and he'd be like, "Yeah, but did you see that punch?
Yeah,
I got that punch though, right?
You saw how about the
what
weed
about
though,
the other
right?
20 minutes.
I was definitely right. You saw me, man. I know you saw me.
but I landed that one good punch.
It feel like that. It feel like that.
All right, but my guy is Kurapika.
Okay.
For sure.
shit.
Hunter x Hunter, when he decided, like, when they were killing off, they killed off the people from his village for the eyes, and he decided he was going to go after these people, and he took it upon himself to do that curse. I forget what kind of a power it was, but take it upon himself that he could die trying to kill the people that were hunting his people down. That's a fucking G. He went after everybody with like, I'll do it myself. He's like, that's the toughest guy. I want him first. You know what I mean? Like he was just a badass the whole show.
Was Hunter x Hunter before Naruto?
After.
After?
Yeah.
Okay, so did they steal the eye snatching? Because they be snatching eyes in Naruto all day long too.
It
They-
must be a
love-
cultural
they-
thing.
A
Yeah,
lot,
that
of,
whole-
a lot
yeah,
of
they-
animes copied a lot of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
if you think back, I mean, like you got to go back. I mean, a lot of stuff. Like a lot of like for instance, like Code Geass and a lot of these newer giant robot enemies, Evangelion. They all were inspired by
The Gundams.
Robotech or Gundam.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. They were
Big
making
O.
first. Yeah. Big
Yeah.
O.
Yeah.
Was another one.
Yeah.
And you go real far back, Gigantor. That's like 1940.
I mean,
that's like
Astro
fucking-
Boy wasn't Astro Boy one of the
Astro Boy's
originals?
another early one.
Yeah.
It's considered the first
He had
anime, I
machine guns in his
believe.
butt.
Okay,
He
yeah.
was
Yeah,
first,
yeah. Valid, valid,
I mean,
valid.
look, even Japanese Spider-Man, and we talked about it in the last podcast.
That's not
Really?
anime. That's
Jap-
not.
I've
it's
never heard of
no,
that.
Japanese Spider-Man has a Gundam.
I've never
A gun?
And he takes stairs.
swinging through.
No, he takes stairs.
Yes. Oh, hell.
Oh.
Yo, okay, look, that was one time.
Okay.
That bitch deserved to die.
He's doing fucking
falling,
stairs.
Somebody's falling, and he takes the stairs instead of swinging down. Oh, she's dead.
Yeah. Japanese
Should have called him. You should have
Yeah.
called him.
Japanese-
That's what I'm saying. You should have called him.
Japanese
He would've
Spider-Man's
picked you-
off Wish.
He would have caught you in the air, and you would have survived.
Yeah, Japanese Spider-Man's off
You
Wish.
don't ghost
.com.
Japanese Spider-Man.
Damn.
Check
That
it
put
out.
me
Go
on.
on YouTube, watch it. Actually, it's pretty inspiring. Like because a lot of the actors in Japan were really doing these stunts because this was like before CGI. Yep. So they would find these really clever, intricate ways to like hang people from like Eiffel Tower high buildings and make it look like Spider-Man is crawling. And it's pretty wild and inventive.
That's like Buster Douglas, the old movie actor, creator of like a lot of the practical effects, like riding on a train and like the house falling around him. You've ever
Right.
seen that?
Yeah.
That was a practical effect where they dropped the whole face of the house, and then he's standing in the right spot where he doesn't get hit because he's where the window lands.
No shit.
Like
okay.
some
That's cool.
ridiculous, like, oh, one mistake and you would have been dead.
Right.
Just absolutely insane.
Anything for that perfect shot.
We need that one. We just
Actually, a
stand there.
a legendary stuntman just died. And also legendary martial artist Gene Lebell passed away.
Yes.
A week or so ago. Judo, professional wrestling, stuntman, legend.
Congratulations, choked the shit out of Steven
Seagal,
Seagal, made him shit himself.
And didn't he
Steven Seagal on the set of a movie.
and didn't he fight Bruce Lee as well?
Yes.
Yes.
He actually
Legend,
he
dude.
sparred.
Legend.
He sparred with Bruce Lee and apparently fucked Bruce up.
I
'cause
believe
a
he was
judo
the
Olympian.
one that showed Bruce Lee like, oh, grappling is a thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And
now-
that's when
and
Bruce
when
Lee was like, I need to learn grappling.
Enter the Dragon.
Oh,
Enter the
shit.
Dragon. Bruce Lee does an
Armbar.
armbar.
Yes.
To
Her-
Chow Yun Fat. He's
Yes.
going against Chow Yun Fat. Is another legendary
No, he
Chinese.
does it to Kareem too. He does an armbar to Kareem, doesn't he?
in the Game of Death.
In the Game of Death,
But
yes.
that was the first time we saw Bruce start doing that stuff.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like, oh shit! Like, and he did it because he worked with Gene Lebell.
And
Yes.
having them put him on.
he had the foresight.
He helped train Ronda Rousey,
Yes.
and a lot of people know Gene Lebell from the movie Rush Hour. He is the cab driver that pulls a gun on Jackie Chan. And Chris Tucker. Yes.
I mean, how old was he when he passed?
Oh, I'll look it up. He's got to be 80s. Has to
Yeah.
be.
But that's a storied career.
It's a legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Fighting and movie making, and so that's pretty fucking dope. You know?
Speaking of Steven Seagal, who was apparently in
Oh God.
Ukraine promoting Russia. So,
What?
good guy.
Just now?
Wow.
Yeah, recently.
sounds
Yeah,
like
recently.
he's
he
a
was
piece of shit.
he was spotted out there promoting Russia and getting them
Okay.
to try to
Damn.
concede, I guess. I mean, like it's
That's
really like, I mean, if he wasn't
Yeah.
making himself look like a piece of shit before, he's really trying hard now.
I want
Yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
something up that's been bothering me since I've seen it. All right. I seen Bullet Train and I loved it.
Right.
I actually would have given it a much better review if it wasn't for one fucking cameo. Spoiler alert. The only reason that I gave it a bad review as far as like, it could have been better is because Sandra Bullock showed up
Oh
at the end of the movie
I was waiting for
as
it.
Brad Pitt's handler. What the fuck is she doing there? She does not belong. The movie would have been magnificent. It's campy.
It does give you. It does
action.
make your face go a little like.
Yeah,
I mean-
and her face is fucked up because she's on all of the collagen. She's got all of the shit
The
going
Botox.
on, all of the Botox.
Nelson hates Sandra Bullock like I hate Steven Seagal. So
Damn.
But
Damn.
Gene Lebell died at 89 years old. He was called the Godfather of Grappling. He worked on over 1,000 movies and TV shows and wrote 12 books. He had a 10th degree black belt in judo. That's a red belt. He had a 9th degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. A 10th degree
Shit.
black belt in Kyokushin karate.
Goddamn.
And his notable students are Chuck Norris, Gokor Savician, Carol Parisian, Ed Parker, the founder of Kempo, Ronda Rousey, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and Benny the Jet
I mean,
Urquidez.
holy
Those are valid.
shit.
Those are valid
They
students.
are,
by the way.
they are all his students.
Yo,
Those are
Benny the
valid.
Jet
Urquidez
was a
his.
fucking beast.
Yeah,
Holy shit! All right,
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
that
you're
was
good.
that was literally a massive launch to the martial
Yeah.
arts world.
Holy
He's
shit.
a one of a kind.
You know who else has a pretty historic like martial arts background? Ip Man. What is his name?
Donnie Yen.
Donnie
Yeah.
Yen.
Donnie Yen's a bad
Yo.
dude, man. You ever
Okay.
seen Ip Man, the
No.
first one?
Oh,
man.
Yo, see if you can. Yeah.
Ip Man is the dude who is actually the trainer of Bruce Lee, the
Yes.
real Wing Chun instructor.
his
who trained-
original
who
instructor,
trained
yes.
Bruce.
Yeah. So, but
And Donnie Yen does a movie that's based on his life, his early life in China
That's-
when the Japanese invaded during World War II.
No way.
yeah,
bro.
yo,
Yeah.
he is a legitimate badass martial artist. Like,
So he's like the
studies-
real thing. Like,
Donnie Yen's the real deal.
yeah, like he's
deal.
Yeah.
okay. Why
It's-
am I seeing him late? You know what I'm saying?
He was so
He was in Star Wars too.
yeah. He did. He pop up in Star
Rogue
Wars, but a lot of his martial arts movies aren't out here in America.
Is that
That's
what it is?
what
then?
it is. So like
Yeah.
he has done some stuff out here, but it doesn't really show what he can do
okay.
as
so
compared to out
the
there.
styles that he's practiced, trained, and competed in: Jeet Kune Do, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Hapkido, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Wing Chun,
I lost my dog at
Tai
5.
Chi,
He already 5 plus.
Hunga. I don't know what the fuck a Hunga is, but I'm scared.
After you hit 5+ for me, and you got all that, bro.
He's got wushu, wrestling, karate, sanda, and MMA. I mean,
I think he
Do
likes
you
hitting
even have to
people.
say
And then I was just about to say that. They give it to you, bro. Like,
You are the epitome of mixed martial arts. If that is on your resume,
Sir, you have
Like-
too much time on your hands. Jesus.
like,
yo,
just give it to
but
them.
What
it
the hell?
translates on the screen when you have a real martial artist like that. Like I think Bruce Lee, when you go into like history, like a lot of people were kind of weirded out, but like, man, he didn't really compete, but he was able to display martial arts on the screen in such a way. It was so powerful and so impactful that when it hit the United States, everybody was running to fucking karate schools. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to learn
I know
martial arts.
I was asking my parents to.
Yeah, we
to
were
karate.
too. Like we would
he
watch
was so
martial arts.
important, yeah.
Me and my brother would kick the shit out of each other after watching a Bruce Lee movie.
yeah.
Like
I'm still trying to do the
let's
roundhouse
some of these
kick.
fights.
That shit,
Yeah,
hey.
he was really important for martial arts in general, and
Yeah.
he was the way I look at Bruce. I try to discredit him because you hear all these stories out of Hollywood,
Right.
And we're right. There's not a lot of footage out there of Bruce really fighting.
Right.
There's not.
Right.
There's exhibition footage because he wasn't a fighter.
He was an icon.
Bruce was a martial artist and a philosopher.
Yeah.
And like that's why we take his stuff, we apply it.
Yeah.
You could say he's almost a godfather of modern mixed martial arts because of his principles.
I mean, his principles of Jeet Kune Do are exactly what MMA is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take in everything, discard what doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, now
There you
here's,
go.
here's the thing too. Like
Like Aikido, Steven.
every martial artist, any fighter, anybody who practices knows you're gonna get your ass kicked. Right? You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days.
Regardless.
So if like Bruce Lee got his ass kicked by some guy, Gene Lebell, not some guy, but the great Gene Lebell, right? Because he's never fought a grappler, and then he had the brain power to be like, you know what? I need to learn this.
Well, can you imagine? Like, one,
Met-
Gene LaBelle was probably 15, 20 pounds heavier than Bruce, and he was a judo Olympian.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what happened when Bruce tried a sidekick and Gene grabbed a hold of him?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the power of he's basically a fucking orangutan. Like,
Yeah.
like the power of an Olympic judo guy grabbing little 135-pound Bruce Lee. Oh my
Yeah.
God. It was probably a devastating throw that I would love to have seen.
Yeah, imagine a silverback gorilla fucking Andy, right? That's
Yeah.
exactly what's happening.
That's a
Yeah.
perfect
Sorry,
depiction.
Andy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But-
sorry. Andy. We had to bring it back.
Yeah.
We had to bring it back.
Yo, the depiction was.
It's right there. It's
Now-
right there.
The thing about that also is, you know how many people that know other martial arts that show up to jiu-jitsu and then they have one match and they never come back again because
Right.
they
It's
don't
humbling.
want to be humbled.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna go back over here where I'm good. I'm top dog. I don't want to be back at the bottom again.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something that wasn't happening before, and
Right.
and he was the first to kind of go, oh, there's something else I need to know here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can't grapple, it's spooky when you're on the ground with a grappler because it's
Yeah.
literally the equivalent of being in the deep water with a shark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you don't know
Damn.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
and it's that's why I tend to say like at least everybody should train some form of grappling, like
Sure.
Yeah.
judo, wrestling, jujitsu, something where
a
you
fact.
because striking arts are great, and everyone always says, yeah, you have to start there. You are right. Every fight most of the time starts on the feet, boxing, kickboxing, karate, what have you.
Yeah.
But nothing in those styles, karate, kickboxing, but dictates where the fight takes place.
Correct.
In all those events, when they're competitive, a referee separates you.
Right.
Right.
They like, all right, or stands you
Stands
up if
you
one of you
up.
falls down.
Yep.
Right.
In a real fight, if you fall down and you're the baddest motherfucker, you're a Golden Gloves boxer.
Yeah.
If you fall down in a street fight and the dude jumps on top of you, no one is standing you up.
That's right.
No one is standing you up.
Right.
That guy can sit on your chest and punch you in the fucking face over and over again,
Just
and there's
bounce
no
your head off the
referee.
ground.
No.
Yep.
There's no Mills Lane ain't jumping in.
Yeah.
You are on your own, and it's you and your skill
Yeah.
set.
And the
Learn
greatest,
grappling.
The greatest example
Learn
of
it.
that was when the UFC first started, and
Yep.
it was at its most savage. Eye gouges, ball
Nut
kicks.
shots.
Yeah,
Damn.
like, people were coming in with like one boxing glove, no boxing gloves.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Some with
and
wrestling
and
shoes,
Yeah.
no
Some people
shoes.
shoes.
And
Yeah.
170-pound soaking wet string bean dude in a gi from Brazil won the whole goddamn thing.
Yep. He was just wrecking shop. Now he took lumps.
Oh yeah.
He was in there
He fought
fighting.
some monster. He fought Ken Shamrock on steroids.
Yep.
Look up Ken. If you know who he is, Ken
Nah,
Shamrock
bro.
is. He actually fought in the WWE. He
The
fought
world's
in
most dangerous.
UFC.
Oh
yeah.
shit! That was his name. That was his name.
A huge beast of a man, very athletic in his own right,
Yeah.
skilled fighter in his own right.
Yeah,
so-
he was a shoot fighting champion in Japan, he actually holds 2 wins over Boss Rutan by submission. 2.
Who's another beast, Boss?
Yes, Boss Rutan's a whole other animal. But Ken Shamrock back in the day beat him twice.
Yeah.
So.
And so...
But he couldn't beat 170-pound Royce.
Yeah.
He couldn't beat
Royce Gracie came in there, and he rocked the world. Like, he showed people, like, hey, if I can bring you to the ground and bring you to the floor...
Technique wins.
You're not going to get back up.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep you here if you don't know how to defend yourself.
Correct.
Even in the earlier stages of the UFC, when it got more modernized and the cage changed and Dana White's in there, people were booing the ground game because they didn't really quite understand it. Because they're just like, he's hugging and holding him down. And
Those are the same guys that sit at Hooters and go, I'll never tap.
That's Ken Shamrock.
That wouldn't work on me.
Now show him.
You valid, bro. Yeah, Ken Shamrock, you valid, bro.
That right there is like, that's Ken in his 40s.
That's his 40s.
That's after UFC.
That looks
show him
like
who he fought.
Brock Lesnar's uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And these guys were fighting all of the time.
Yeah.
So when he fought in the ring with this man wearing a gi, he came in there wearing his pajamas.
Shit.
And he won. It changed the face of the fighting game for a lot of people.
Damn.
And which is why I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right now has such a dominant stance.
That's a young Ken Shamrock.
Damn.
And show him who he fought, Eddie.
The dude right there in the gi. I'm trying to find one that shows.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. What's in your cornflakes, bro?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
How did you start your
Yeah,
day?
exactly.
That was Ken when he was in
Oh,
WWE.
shit.
He's a fucking beast.
Oh yeah, he valid for real.
Yeah, and Hoist choked him out.
Yeah.
That's
So-
Royce.
Like he just looks like a regular guy in a gi.
Yeah, he's just like a
The
regular
person
dude
he was
off the
fighting
street.
against.
My dad look like he got J's on too. I'm not even gonna They said fuck the shoes. I'm gonna just leave him on.
Yeah.
I already got the shirt and
All right,
pants
guys,
on.
we're gonna wrap up the podcast with one more thing. We're gonna go into, since we talked about our favorite hero of our animes that we've seen, let's go into a favorite villain. Okay, and it could be a villain that you love to hate, a villain that you hate because he's a fucking scumbag. Whatever reason you want to go with, and Ed, we'll start with you.
I don't want to touch on the My Hero fight with All Might. Again, that kind of like what should have almost ended the series.
All
like
for
that
one?
should have ended. Like we could have
That'd
ended
have been a hell
there.
of an ending. That'd have been a hell of an ending. All for one's a hell of a, yeah.
Someone that I've always found interesting is actually
Orochimaru.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
I'm on the
Yeah, that was a hard one for me too. I ain't gonna lie. When I
it's-
first started seeing him in the scenes, I was already trying to figure out his name. So,
He-
I don't want to know about the moves. I need to make sure.
I'm looking my guy's name up right now. Sorry.
He is always about him in everything he does. Whether and it's always calculated. It's like, if I'm going to destroy the city, it's just because it benefits me.
Right.
Maybe later I'll come in, I'll save the city,
Right.
which is some shit he does because it's like, well, because it benefits me.
Correct.
Like his goal is purely just the scientific knowledge behind how all the ninjutsu and everything works.
Because he was a student.
And he just wants to know it all and become immortal off it. And he essentially does, to some point.
Yeah.
And he becomes very fluid. He's a very odd character. And Boruto now, he's a little less... He's still evil. He's still clearly, like, not anybody's friend, but his own friend.
Right.
But he's definitely shifted a little bit because he has a son, essentially, a life he created,
Got it.
so to speak. You know, but it's interesting. He's still one of the better characters of the show.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to lie. I think my villain is kind of related to his too because of how he depicted it.
Right.
Because I don't know if anyone, you know Yasha all day.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Naraku.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Okay.
such a good villain.
Because,
Such a
with
good
Orochimaru
villain.
and Naraku, it's not like, I mean, of course, they're dark.
Yep.
But they have, like...
Pissed off little burn victim in a cave. God, so fucking good.
Yo, I mean...
So good.
You got to see it like this, man. Like, Naraku's just... Like, he was the definition of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like, for me, he touched on a real villain for someone who's just really depicted as someone who could just really be all around.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't
You know
his
what I'm
rage and hate so powerful that the demons were drawn to him?
Literally.
They like came to the cave.
Literally.
They came to the cave.
you can't
'cause of
get
how much
that
hate
dark-
was coming from him.
Fuck.
Like he
Right?
was so bad. Naraku was a nightmare. He was a living nightmare. Like that was such. As soon as you said that, I was like, God, that's a good villain. That's such a good villain.
Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because for me,
that's
it would have
solid.
been like, and like, not to get off topic, but off of anime for like my villain, it would be Palpatine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4, 5,
he's
6, 7 steps ahead
the,
type shit.
the master puppeteer.
Yeah.
He's
So
even got
Naraku-
clones of himself.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Naraku had that little girl with the mirror,
Yeah.
and that was insane, bro. Like that, it was just crazy.
Okay. All right.
I feel like all the Sith are like just obsessed with that unlimited power.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
staying
I mean,
in
come
control
on,
forever.
bro.
Like
That's what it is.
The afterlife.
it's always a good. Star Wars has excellent villains.
It does. It does.
But I'm gonna go. I loved where Ed was going with the All for One because how
Yeah.
much of a great villain he is. Who's still kind of a villain behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Where he's locked up. But I'm gonna go with his disciple, Tomura Shigaraki. I'm gonna go with him from My Hero, just because I think we asked this question before, and I picked Vicious from Cowboy Bebop because of how his vibe was and how sinister he was when he showed up. But Shigaraki, now that he's coming into his own, especially with the new arc of My Hero, he's like really coming into his powers.
Right.
Like he's becoming what All for One wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like he's like now the leader of this giant union of villains, the largest like villain army we've ever seen. He sits at the throne of it. Everyone's everyone is literally, they serve him out of fear.
Right.
Like they are like his power is just instant decay.
Jesus.
If he touches you, instantly you rot away to nothing. Like you
He's
vanish.
such a nasty villain.
And now he's so in touch with his
grotesque.
power that if it's like he can get you, if he's standing on the ground and you're standing on the ground, he can rot you away. His power is limitless now. It's unbelievable. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna deal with him.
They write. I got to catch back up because they do write themselves into a corner.
Yeah, but the latest arc, the last season, they follow the villains a lot, and you see Tomura kind of like you see the depth of his will and how his drive to be this bad motherfucker, and now like he's attained it. In the final end of the last season, you see how he attains it, and you're like, wow, how are we gonna deal with this guy now?
Yeah,
like he's literally a villain where you're like, I don't see the positive outcome.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing how they deal with
Yeah.
this guy because he's just. I think he's one of the best villains in anime right now.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
For me, I'm gonna go back to Hunter x Hunter, and it's Hisoka.
Okay.
The clown
Everyone's
villain.
favorite
Yeah.
jester.
He is.
Yes.
He's such a sadistic fuck.
You don't know his intentions.
No, man, and he's really creepy too.
Yeah, he's
right?
off in
so
the-
He's always doing his own thing.
thing,
He'll only team up with you if he feels like he can take advantage
And
of
if it
you.
works for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he's always seeing an angle where it can work for him.
He always
Like,
has a
every
weird
time.
attraction to the main character. Too.
he
Like,
has a
likes him.
weird attraction. Yes, he does.
If we're gonna get there too,
Yes.
Are we going there?
Oh, we're going there. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. He's a fucking creepy
Hey,
dude.
bruh, how he began their ears and whispering and all that.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to be doing it. They already feel your vibe already, bro. Now
Like
you in their
he's
ears.
He's
unsettling.
fucking you up, and then he's
Yeah.
like,
When he first
Hey.
shows up, he's unsettling.
I want to be on your side. Like, and you just fucked you up, bro. he just like he fucked you up.
Bro,
If anyone's a Final Fantasy fan, I get serious vibes of like him from like the bad guy in Final Fantasy VI, Kefka.
oh,
Like just a
yeah.
fucking clown, like a
that
jester
back.
with sick laugh.
brought
Like
that
I'm like,
back.
oh god, like that's just,
But like
there's
he's
something unsettling about
he's
it.
evil. He's playful. He's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
He really is, right?
Yeah.
Like he
Pennywise.
touches all the markers of like he's just this sadistic character. Like you just don't want to fuck with him. Like,
Yeah.
like whether he comes around and he's like, "Hey, we should team up," you're like, "Fuck." I can't say no because he's gonna kill me, and I gotta watch out for saying yeah because he's probably
He's gonna
try
kill
to
me.
kill me.
He's going to kill me.
He's
I'll
always
end
got
up
some-
dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that bubble gum fucking
Oh,
shit
shit.
that he does.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah,
man. Like
bro.
Yeah, it's
he was
nice.
a badass.
It's never a good day when he's around.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So I liked his depiction of a villain because he touched all the markers of just like you don't want to fuck with him, and he's always at the top of his game. He believed in himself
Every time.
so much.
Every time. Every time. Throughout the whole tourney, too.
Yeah. All right. So before we end the podcast, we wanted to touch base on you're working on some music.
Yes, sir.
You're putting some stuff out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And at the end of the podcast, please stick around because we're going to play some of your music.
We're gonna play some of this shit.
That's right. Why don't you tell people the name of the song, what they're expected to listen to?
Yeah, man. So I got this song about to drop actually tomorrow. It's called This How I Do, and it's gonna be on all platforms. You name it, any platform you want to think of, and it's gonna be my first body of work too, bro. Like,
Sweet.
Nice.
like literally, like if you were to try to find any songs from me, you're not gonna find it, bro. This is gonna be my one. So up until then, what I'm trying to say is like after y'all hear that, you already know what's to come. Nice. I don't really need to like I wanna like, you know, boast and everything, but I'll wait till it really drops, then I can really talk my shit. But I'm telling y'all, like when that shit drops, y'all gonna fuck with that shit.
All right. Very nice. So where can people find you?
You already can find me on IG. You already know SplashhVelli. That's SPLASHHVELLI. No relations to your boy Machiavelli. So up until then, you already know what it is. No relations. So up until then, you know, I go by SplashhVelli, Kiss Splash. You already know what it is, man. So.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Ed. Take us away. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where you can find all of our shit on all your social media platforms on
Sofa Kingdom OFC,
and you can find us in 4K on YouTube at
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take us away.
Like, share, comment, tell somebody about us. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us something.
And tell Andy there's a silverback gorilla.
Tell Andy.
Looking for his ass.
Tell us. Please. Because that juice coming, boy.
Yo, please record it.
And Andy, where's our pizza party, man?
Yeah, man.
Hey, you've been talking.
Yeah, he bought a pizza oven. He said, we're going to throw a pizza party, and then never fucking
You
invites
guys
us.
see any pizza?
Hey,
Yeah, we like
if
pizza.
if it's the easy bake kind, then I ain't.
It probably is an easy bake oven.
I ain't
You
sure.
fucking lied to us, Andy.
That's tough, man.
Oh, shit. Good shit, guys.
Hell yeah.
That was a vibe. That was a vibe. That's how we do it. No way, bro. I watch y'all shit on IG. Y'all shit look great, bro. That shit look structured, nigga. No way, bro. Y'all shit dominate. Y'all dominate.
That's it.
I love watching y'all shit. That shit's crazy.
Chickity Maybelline, old girl named Madeline. Maybelline, old girl named Madeline. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. You know. Yeah. You know. Hey. Okay. This how I do. Watch cash tumble down and splash all on my shoes. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Bitches, you knew. Sick and moving with a couple bags I dropped off with boots. Damn. Okay. This how I do. Watch cash tumble down and splash all on my shoes. Down. Yeah. Okay. Bitches, you knew. Stick and moving with a couple bags I dropped off with boot. Low key, my coupe kid got the juice. Kid push the start, whip hits the boost. We fins to groove, she's here for food. I ain't amused, she seems confused. No introduce, intro then deuce. Damn. H2 my tank, H2 my bank, H2 the drink, H2O Zaza with the snake. No cap on gang, I does the thing. You 0 for 5, I'm fine like flames. I shine like. Can't complain with all this bread around me. Fam all in my session, no pretend around me. South Beach with lil' mama, plus them dreads around me. Fuck about what you saying and what you said. If it ain't bread around me, watch how I do. This how I do. Watch cash tumble down and splash all on my shoes. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Bitches, you knew. Sick and moving with a couple bags I dropped off with boots. Damn. Okay. This how I do. Watch cash tumble down and splash all on my shoes. Down. Yeah. Okay. Bitches, you knew. Stick and moving with a couple bags I dropped off with boots. Dancing, diamonds, baby dancing, diamonds.